What's going on, everyone? Good evening. Welcome to the Joy of the Hobby podcast and Essential Credentials production. We're on episode 13, and Ben, while not home, has returned. He's back. Happy to have him. Happy to have you, buddy. Going to be excited to kind of go through this episode and catch up with you, see how you've been, see what you've been up to, and talk a little bit about what you got coming up. So. Yeah, man. What's currently bringing you joy in the hobby right now, dude?
So that's the wild card thing for this episode. Is what's really been bringing me joy is we got back from our trip out to visit and a work trip for my wife, and she has started to dabble in F1 cards.
No.
The fun, oh no, but oh yes, because I think she
Right.
understands it a little bit because she's really enjoying F1, and then you relate
Right.
that to the cards, and you
Right.
see it's actually reinvigorating because you see it through fresh eyes. I can only imagine it'd be like Luke or somebody that has a kid, and
Right.
they get into it and they start opening cards, and you get to like see them get excited.
Yep.
She's like so excited. She has no idea what she's looking at, but it's fun. I tell her, oh, this is what this means. This is what this means, and
That's awesome.
it's then. It gives me like a jolt of energy. It makes me excited again.
Mm-hmm.
And it really is part of that, like having somebody else to enjoy cards with. F1, I love the sport, but I've never really collected the cards. But if that's the lane she wants to go in, I'm stoked. I got her first shoebox.
Nice. Her first story. You didn't buy her like a binder with pages yet, huh?
We didn't do the binder yet. I am probably going to get her a top loader binder, so she can flip through. But we got the first shoebox. I was like, this is the tradition: is you have to get a shoebox first. And here's penny sleeves, and here's top loaded, and like going from like the nuts and bolts of collecting with her has been really fun.
That's really cool that you found kind of a way to bridge that gap. You know what I mean? I think anybody that's got a significant other at home that maybe doesn't know about cards or doesn't really collect, it's a really fun way because there's so many like IPs, we call them, right, at work, like out there for somebody to get into, whether it's like right now we've got X-Files stuff, or maybe Topps, like you're saying, is doing F1, or, you know, the Goonies or something crazy. Like there's so many things out there to kind of like, hey, let's take a look at this and let's take a look at this. So like, for instance, my mom, right, she really wanted to know like what I do now. And I was like, okay, well, let me show you this Chris Evert card, which is her favorite tennis player. And like, we're going to do this with this player's cards. And so
nice.
That kind of stuff is really fun. And that's awesome that you've been able to get her into it a little bit. Let me ask you this. What was the first thing she got excited about on her own without you being like, this is a big card? Like when she was opening the boxes, what was the first thing where she went, wow, this is pretty cool?
So the first thing, which I thought was very funny, is we started with just a paper product card box. And then I went and got a chrome box, and you open it up right away, and she's like, whoa, these are so nice.
Okay.
Just like, like, we don't think about it. We think of like chromium technology or refractor, and we're so used to it. But when somebody sees it the first time, they're like, whoa, this is like fancy. Yeah. It's like, yeah, it is. I mean, you do pay for it, but it is like a significant difference. Like, people are used to cards just being like a piece of paper, and you feel a chrome card for the first time. We're really looking at it. There's such a big difference.
Yeah, for sure.
That, and then the first like colored refractor she got. You see a different color, and you're like, oh, and it's fun to watch like the what is this? You're like, I'll tell you, be careful with it. It's orange. See how it's numbered? It's out of 25. Let's be very careful with that one.
Nice. And so you got to kind of explain like there's 25 copies of this picture on this card that's orange in the world. Like that's it that were made, right?
Okay. Right. That's awesome. It was fun because, you know, checklist for F1, there's only a few guys, so you get some repeats, especially with the stuff we were opening. So we got to get we actually ended up with a few repeats of like the same card numbered differently. So I could like see this one's green and it's out of this number, and it is the same card but a different border. So you're kind of walking through like the modern card scaffolding, you know, how that works.
Right. Oh, for sure. No, that's cool, man. That's awesome. I mean, I think anytime you get somebody new into the hobby in some way, you kind of take some pride in that. You know, I'm sure people in the chat have had that happen, you know, whether it's like a family member or a friend, a child, whatever, you know, a child of yours. My students that I used to teach at school, my third graders, when I kind of, you know, described what makes cards so special, there is that really cool moment that we've all like experienced when we were so young, that like the wow moment when we first discovered cards and had a feeling of them being cool to us. It's so hard. I mean, you don't replicate that, but it's got to be great seeing it through her eyes in a way and remembering like, oh yeah, a basic chrome refractor is actually pretty freaking sweet still. And it's great to not lose sight of that, I guess is what I'm saying. I do want to say hi to Persh. Persh, I saw you were on a podcast recently.
Hey.
Looking forward to
What's up, man?
seeing that. And in case anybody didn't know who this person was, now we know who it is. So David is here.
He is here. He has arrived.
He's here. That's welcome, David. So, well, that's great, man. So you opened Topps flagship, and then you opened Paddock Pass, which is Stadium Club but F1, correct?
Yep.
Okay. Awesome.
And we did, so for her to get an idea of designs, this particular shop that I went to had 21, 22, 23, and 24. So we did 21 paper, 22, 23 chrome.
Okay.
And then just a few single packs of 24 chrome, just to see like the different styles, right? Because again, another thing that if you're new to the hobby, you wouldn't know, like they change the design every year. So we opened one, she's like, oh, this one's different. It's like, yeah, every year they give you something like new in the design. The tech might be the same. And, you know, the inserts and numbering might be the same, but the actual design is going to be different every year.
Right, for sure. Now that's awesome that you get to kind of show her how it changes too, because again, I think so much of our learning is visual now, right? With everything on social media, that tends to be like the best way to kind of make that initial connection of like, okay, so this is this and this is this. And so it's really tough without the visualization. Luke, in case anybody wanted to know who this was, Red Legs Collector is Red Legs Collector. Glad that your dad has started a trend in the chat.
I know. Quote, cards on the table. Everybody name who you are.
Yeah, exactly. So question for the chat, for the people that are in here. I know Luke recently was on here and he kind of talked about exposing his wife to the cards and then his daughter and getting them into it and that whole experience. Has anybody had the ability to bring somebody new into the hobby? Like, are you somewhat responsible for that? I'd be curious to hear like what that was like for you, because I think we've all had that chance to try to hook some people, and sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. So it's been fun too at work to try to do that because we're around the cards a lot, but watching someone who, like I sit next to across another Matthew B, funny enough, and he's great. He does all the content and stuff for Goodwin and our unlicensed products. But watching him, he's not a collector, but when he gets excited about a card, you know that it's really special. So it's really fun to watch him be like, okay, I like this because this. Maybe something you and I wouldn't think about, you know. So that's really fun to do. So what was the best card or cards that came out of the boxes? Do you have any examples with you of some cool?
So I do have one. We had it in the car. My wife ran down and grabbed it. So out of the 2021 Topps, the paper product, there's like a chance, and I think it's probably one per case, that you can pull like a race worn memorabilia card.
Okay.
And wouldn't you know, we got one box and she pulled a Lando Norris race worn memorabilia card numbered to 199. So it's like the race, the pole variation, like one per case. And this is her favorite driver, period. So like
all of us, I think all three of us love him, right?
Yeah, exactly. So the chances of one getting a relic at all out of one of these boxes is almost impossible. Two, the checklist is long. It's like 30, maybe 35 people in the checklist. And to get the Lando is insane.
Dude, that's great luck. She's got a hot hand, man.
She's got the hot hand. I mean, that's so lucky. And of course, us that have been in the game for a long time, knowing you with your work, opening a lot of product, you know, if you're looking for a specific card, it's not going to happen. Like the odds are so stacked against you.
It's like, exactly.
So she has a hot hand, and I have to be like, this is not how this normally works.
No.
You buy the box, it's like going to a movie, you walk away with nothing, and you hope you just enjoyed the experience.
Yeah, most boxes are like that, you know, and you get to kind of see that firsthand. But that's awesome. Yeah. It's cool too, because like a mem card like that in baseball or basketball and even hockey really doesn't carry the weight that, you know, it would for someone else who's never pulled anything like that. And to have that be the card, that card's going to mean 10 times more to you guys than probably most.
Oh yeah, what a cool memory. And mem cards, like in flagship Topps 2021, for them, that was the only thing you could pull. So they were extremely rare. So they carry a lot more value than what we would think for like modern baseball or modern hockey. Like they're the printing on F1 in general, which I'm learning, is just way shorter. They print way less product for F1 because I
Well,
guess there's a
some of
smaller
it.
market, right?
Some
So
of it.
it depends. It
Yeah,
depends.
they've definitely gone up more with like the F2 and F3 drivers. They've had to they've
Right.
added them, which is great because you have a way to prospect, but it also really waters it down, and that's kind of the strategy that you have to go
That's
with.
why.
But,
That's
yeah.
why we avoided the 2024 product. I looked at the checklist and was like, she's
Yeah.
not. We don't follow F3,
Yeah,
so that's not
not
going to be
yet.
as interesting.
Yeah,
Not yet. Wait, we'll get into it. We'll open the cards, then get into F3 because of the cards.
for sure. No, that'll be great, especially if an F3 driver ends up being great in like 5 years. Now you have his or her rookie card, right?
Right.
So Persh was saying to my kids, he's gotten his kids into it. I've been ripping hockey and Pokemon with them, and they seem to enjoy it and have fun with it. I mean, opening cards is always going to be fun, but it's great when the kids get into it because you can kind of introduce the hobby to them in a healthy way, right? And not talk about how amazing grading is and talk about, flipping and this and that. It's just like enjoying the cards at their core, right? And I think that's what it's all about. So, and that's what your wife's doing right now too. So congrats on the Lando, man. That's really, really exciting.
Yeah.
We've had a chance to open a few of those boxes as we do. We kind of like to see what our competitors are doing, so we get a chance to open a box or two here and there. And that's, for me as an F1 fan, I really enjoy it. Just kind of seeing how they deliver the product and the photos that they use, especially Stadium Club. I still think the best product ever is still the inaugural Topps Chrome F1 release. It's all the photos are amazing in there. There's variations. I wish I had my Vettel Chrome refractor variation. It's put away down here right now, but those variations that they did in the very first set where they're with their helmet kind of sitting down. That's one of my favorite cards. So awesome, man. Well, good. That sounds like it was a lot of fun to experience. It was nice having you out here too. That was a really fun time for us. Because I think people in chat will probably agree. Like, anytime you get a chance to spend time with your hobby friends, who most of our connections are afar, and go around to different shops, we really have a good time with that. So. It was great having you here. We got to try some new food and then go around we went to 3 different shops, correct?
Yep. So we did 3.
And do you remember which 3 they were off the top of your head?
I think the first one was called All Star.
Yeah.
Something like
so. It definitely wasn't that. I'll tell you that.
It was a quick visit. I will say, so we visited 3. All 3 were a different type of shop, a different experience. So we visited All Star, then another one called Claremont, and the last one was called Honey Hole, which, as we learned, is one of their few locations they have. So we went from like shop that's clearly kind of struggling and isn't putting in the effort to like make the shop something like, I would say, engaging or interesting. Like you could tell they're having a tough time.
Yep.
Then we went to the old school shop that's been around for probably 30 years. Boxes everywhere, a bunch of stuff, inventory
organized.
kind of.
It was great.
It was very organized and like a lot of inventory that you could flip through, which is like my sweet spot for a shop. It's like some singles you can kind of look at and a pretty good variety, some vintage all the way up to modern, multiple sports, and then like boxes and boxes you could flip through and hopefully find something. There's like maybe a nugget hidden in there somewhere. That the potential to find something good is like the most fun for me in a shop.
Yep. For sure.
And then the last one, Honey Hole, was, I would call it like a very nice version of the modern shop. So that's a shop that gets allocation, looks really good, clearly does trade nights, has spots like tables for breaking. They had a cool little dugout thing they built in the wall where you could take pictures and stuff. Really great display cases, like the vertical ones that you know more about than I do. Like
the real
well organized, the really tall, like floor to ceiling style, like top lit rows that just present the cards almost like a gallery, right?
Absolutely.
Like very, very nice.
Yep.
Very impressed. Like that's generally not my kind of shop because they know so much there. You're not finding anything that's like that they don't know about, and probably know the price in their head.
Yeah, because everything's comped if it's modern, right? Everything can be comped. So
fully comped, but very beautiful. Like that would be a fun place to go for a trade night, or if you're going to like a couple friends were going to go to the shop and like rip a box together and hang out and chat a little bit. Like that's the kind of shop that you would feel is inviting and fun. And that was the one we maybe spent the most, well, without buying anything in Honey Hole, we spent the most time there just because we could talk shop with those guys, and they're very knowledgeable. They're up to date with everything. Like they really understand kind of where the hobby is today.
For sure.
So
that was awesome.
Really fun going around. I had a blast.
Yeah, same here, man. Again, I love the variety of it all. Like, I do want to ask the chat, like, what is your favorite card shop and what makes it your favorite? You know, because I am really curious to hear if everybody's got their own different reasons for why those shops are their favorite. I think we can both agree the Claremont shop was great. A lot of 90s cards and organized by player, right? There was an Alex Rodriguez box, there was a Cal Ripken box, there was the Ichiro box, Griffey, you know, which was basically picked through, right? All the graders and flippers went through and grabbed them all. But it was wonderful how organized it was, and there was a lot of modern. There wasn't a lot of modern hobby boxes, but there was a lot of modern blasters and things all over the place. So it was stuff in good price ranges. The owner was buying. He bought like a 89, 90 score box, hockey box from some guy. Bunch of retail stuff for like $30, and it was definitely gave me an old school shop vibe, and I love that because that's the kind of shop that we grew up in, you know, going to. And
yeah, exactly.
So, yeah, that was really a lot of fun. But the modern shop was great too because the conversation we had with the owner, we got lucky and had the owner of all 3 Honey Hole locations, shops was actually there, and talked to us a lot about, you know, what he's seeing that's moving well. What, you know, obviously breaking, that's where, you know, he makes most of his money. And what products are struggling, what products are doing really well. And obviously it was great to kind of chat with him on behalf of our company, kind of like, how are you feeling about our products? Like, what's moving, what's not. And so, yeah, it was great to have you there and asking those questions. And yeah, it was just nice to see such a wide variety, you know, and also to see 3 shops within an hour of each other, basically. So
yeah, it's incredible how many shops there are now. Like, I remember in the 90s, we had, when I was in Charlotte, 2, I think, in all of Charlotte. And then now I think the hobby's just grown so much. Now, some of the shops clearly have been there for a while, but you're seeing the new ones like Honey Hole and places like that sprout up.
Right.
Like, those were all 15 miles apart.
Yeah.
Ish, like pretty close together. So very interesting to see that. And the fact that they're, well, I would say the first one I said is struggling, but the other 2, there were people coming in and out. They were doing business. Like, there's enough customers or people in the hobby out there to actually support that many locations. It seems like, which is great.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. And in those last 2, like the second and third shop, it was great because they knew what they were, what their niche was, and they weren't trying to, you know, try to dabble in the 90s, for instance, in the modern, or vice versa with the old school shop. Kind of older owners, right? So they have that mentality of like having the shop in the 70s or 80s, and they've had it the whole time.
Yeah.
As opposed
the middle
to
shop.
Yeah, the other
perfect.
shop.
I think the guy was like, one of the owners was like sitting down, dog in his lap. He's like eating a hoagie, and it's like, this is the kind of shop that I connect with, right? Dude's hanging out, chilling. He's eating lunch, you know.
Right, and we both found a couple of pretty cool cards for each other. It was great. We were both kind of digging through boxes. That Ichiro that you got was probably my favorite card. Do you have it next to you there?
Yeah, the Game Use base.
Not that one, the other one, but that one's cool.
Oh, yeah. See, it's funny. I have them both here, and I've been drawn more to this one, even though this is one that I really like the design of. Right, you got the Ichiro throwing. He's wearing the Juliets, like the old school Mariners.
Yep.
The hat, everything about this is great, and it's still a good piece of Game Use base, right? You can see some of the lines.
Yeah.
Like the fake stitching they use for the bases.
Yep.
So,
love it.
Always been a great card, and one that I've seen and overlooked, but when you see it in person, you just go, you know what, this is a good time to buy this card, and it creates a memory. I can look at that card every time and go, I remember we were at Claremont. I was hanging out with Matt.
Yep.
He actually found it first. I looked at it. We were like, kind of quiet, like, don't say too much about it.
Yeah, because I wasn't sure. I thought it was a rookie year card. I forgot it was a second year, you know, at first, because I don't know my Ichiro. You do. So yeah, that was really cool. I'm trying to think, because there were those 2, and then you and I had like piles, and then we kind of like whittled them down to just like a couple cards that we really wanted to leave with, right? So that was pretty cool.
Yeah, exactly. It was fun. That was the one where we actually bought stuff, and it was our sweet spot kind of store. Like, there's gonna be some things that, like, sure, I could go buy this on eBay, but it's fun. I'm enjoying the conversation with these guys. You know, support your local shop. Like, to me, that's worth something. It's worth paying $2 more.
I have one of the cards that we found when we were there. This kind of stuff is so cool because you just don't see it really anymore, like the uniqueness of it. But the Game Used Dirt play at the plate, and these were redemptions that you had to send in. And so it was really cool. Great, lovely picture of Alex on the follow through, right? This is from 2000. So it was really cool to find a card, like you were saying, finding a card that you might not necessarily buy on eBay, but you've made a memory, right? And both of our cards are very unique: game used base, game used dirt.
Right.
So that was really, really special to be able to find two cards that are going to be memories, but also be pretty unique cards in the collection. So yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah, I think after the first shop, we got to the second one. We were like, we have to buy something today, each of us. Like, we can't walk away empty-handed, hanging out together, going to card shops, and not leave with something.
We would have got a box at the third place and just had that be our like memory, right, if we needed to. But the one thing we will say, and we always like to keep things positive here, so it's, I guess I'll use this as a teachable moment. When you go to a shop, if you don't know prices of stuff yet, you should, if you know what you're looking to buy, like a box of something, you should definitely, just like at a card show, if people already know this, look up the price of the box. There was a gentleman that rolled in, no pun intended, but he came in and he and his wife were there, and he wanted to get a Jackson Merrill rookie and pull it from a pack, which is a great feeling. And they were trying to sell him something at double comps, a box of Allen Ginter. And that's what kind of, after that happened, Ben and I were like, we're out.
Yeah, we were like, okay, that's not fair. And so yeah, especially with wax, and if it's a previous year wax, like do a little research and make sure. One thing I don't have with me is I stopped it. So for those watching, I went up to LA to visit my brother since we were already in California and hang out with you. We went up there, and I did find a shop very similar to Claremont, where it was like 90s. They've been in business for like 30 years, and they had some 90s wax, and not really stuff I would necessarily open, but just stuff that I would like to just display and like kind of keep out. And it was one of those, again, where like I knew the value of those because I've looked at those boxes before, something to buy on eBay, but I could buy them right here from these guys. Very cool shop. Again, a shop where I went in at lunchtime. They're eating lunch. They also have a dog in the shop.
That's awesome.
They're just chill, and they know all their stuff. And they had like vintage all the way through modern, a couple different sports. And they had a whole shelf of all this wax. And at the very top was like this 90s baseball stuff. They just clearly they had it from when that product came out, and it just never got sold, and it just moved higher up the shelf. And so I was like, I'm gonna be a little annoying to you guys, but can you start grabbing boxes off the top shelf? He grabs his, step ladder. He goes up there. I'm like, that one. He's like, oh yeah. So I ended up grabbing, as an ode to Upper Deck, the 95 Emotion box.
Such a nice product, dude. Oh, it's such a nice product.
The box is gorgeous. For those out there, go look up what the sealed box looks like. It's got the foil for the Emotion on there. It's got a great picture of Cal.
Yep.
Cal Ripken. He's like the cover boy for the box, and they have his insert set there. It's just like, and it's big. So it's like 36 packs, and it's like a big square box. Like not a normal size box. It's just a very interesting, like, we're just breaking all the rules with this product.
Let me see if I can pull up a picture here for the people who can't get to it. 1995 box. I remember opening a box of this when I was in college, and it was quite fun. I mean, I didn't get anything of value out of it, but it was really cool just to see it. Here's a picture of the box. And you can see, it's a big boy for sure, but that's the same picture that's on the Cal Ripken. But to get the foil on the box, as well as the packs, as well as the cards, Gene and Fleer, because it went from this to Emotion EXL to
which had the border.
So this was kind of like the progression of this product, and I think it's one of the more beautiful base cards that's ever been made. And I will continue to slowly ask my boss if we can do this someday, because I think a modern iteration would be really fun to see with hockey. I would really enjoy
100%. Yeah. It's a fun theme. It's a great product. It's just, when you think back to 95, no one was like really making a product like that, and everyone had the same size box. Like, it was just a crazy thing to put foil on the box, making 36 packs and like big like that. Like, we're gonna make a different shaped box. Like, this is crazy.
Yeah, it is cool, dude. It's a really fun one to open. I've had a chance to open that and the EXL box and an Emotion hockey box. They all were tons of fun. I do want to show a couple comments here. So Doug, He's talking about up north, a little bit north between here and your brother in Laguna Hills. There's a shop that Doug and I are going to go check out, which would be fun. MVP Sports Cards. Sounds like an old school shop, so I love that. Persh is talking about a couple around here, but my favorite is A to Z Comics. They carry all sports plus Pokemon, comics, Marvel, and DC cards. I like it because the people that work there are great and enjoy the hobby. That's awesome. And then your dad said a couple that you probably know, AAA Matthews NC and Sports Cards Collectibles, South Charlotte, North Carolina.
Yeah. So the AAA was where I had my first like little job at a shop, sorting and organizing cards that those guys would just close the shop and open their own products sometimes at night. It's a great old school, like they have their sets. It's very much like Claremont that they have like all the different years, different products just in like 2 or 3 row boxes just stacked behind the counter. You just go, let me see like 96 select.
That's so cool.
Kind of have the set, but then like a couple like parallels just sitting in the box. So you can sometimes find a little nugget. So it's the fun of some modern stuff. And then like this has been here for a minute. There's a lot of stuff sitting in these boxes. I should go through some of them.
Sweet. Yeah. I think, it was great too, just to kind of get out and see shops and want to go to shops, because you have to imagine, we're talking about and we're around cards all day. And so to find the energy to just go to a shop when you spend your days talking about cards, you want to kind of have a break from it. So it was awesome to take the day or half a day and just go out and not only go downtown for the first time in San Diego, but go check the shops out. And they were fun. So it's definitely something I'm looking forward to going up north when you're staying in LA and go to some shops up there. That'll be fun.
Yeah, we'll do some more adventures. I will have to take you to the Beverly Hills shop, and we'll do a whole Burbank thing. Maybe make some content at Burbank.
Yeah,
so everybody can see how crazy that is.
Yeah, for sure. Well, before we transition into the next thing, trying to think if there's anything else kind of going down. I know you're talking about coming out here, so that's going to be really fun. We kind of talked a little bit about maybe doing some content in person, doing an episode with the two of us in the same space, which would be wild. Yeah, it would be really cool. So definitely look forward to that. It's great to be back on here. Obviously, we've got some people watching live, which is good, because last episode, a couple weeks ago, was great. We got to have Bernard on here, who's currently not watching, but he was a really fun interview. And if you guys haven't seen that, Bernard, he's a newer collector, but he kind of fooled me and Ben. We both thought he had been he's a savvy veteran, with all the knowledge.
Right.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. So for me lately, kind of in the hobby, as you can see, I kind of redid the office. I think it's the best setup as far as having the most space. I have 2 cases over here. Eventually, the cases are going to have to go because I'm probably going to get a much smaller apartment. So I might keep one, but we'll see, But that's so I'm kind of enjoying more space right now. And I'm starting to put a lot of mid-end cards and just kind of bindering everything up in regular binders. I've been enjoying being able to just kind of flip through my inserts of Justin Jefferson, just kind of, maybe no particular order. But they're a lot of fun to look at, man. Video kind of inspired me. If anybody knows who Tanner Jones is, if you look up Tanner Jones 90s binder, he just has binders full of mid-end 90s shiny inserts, and just has them just thrown in there. And I was like, man, that's a really fun way to just kind of flip through and enjoy your cards. So I've been doing that. And then the last thing I did is I bought a different scanner, because if anybody knows who Chris White or Brandt is, they're big Frank Thomas collectors, but their scans are perfect in every way. They show off the refractors better. I don't know if I see any pictures yet, Ben, but I wanted a scanner that could maybe do those justice a little bit more. So I tested it on a few cards. I'm going to start with a card we saw at the card shop. And do you remember the rocket launchers from 95 Donruss, that one that we found?
Oh, yeah.
So, it's really hard to get a scanner to kind of show off a card in a static scan, but check out how good that turned out.
Man, that's a really good capture of that.
Yeah, for sure. And
I still need to get the Bonza one of those. Seeing that in person, this card, for folks that aren't familiar with this card, there's so much detail in this card. It's incredible. All
these lightning bolts or whatever you want to call it, they're standing up on the card, and then there's Spectrum deco foil all throughout. And what's really crazy in the scan, if you look right here, here, and here, that's the break in the foil, right? Because these foils are in squares. So it's kind of interesting. You don't really notice it in hand, but when you scan it, you start noticing a lot of that stuff. So I started with kind of a couple of lower end cards. I really wanted to kind of see how they turned out. And then I scanned a few Alex Rodriguez, not many, just because I wanted to kind of wait just to, see how it would kind of turn out, see if it would, look decent or not. Let me see here. I'm going to go to, this is an easy one. So I'll probably end up not scanning these with the magnetics or the one touches or whatever, but this is the Power Alley from 97. I mean, look how good.
Oh, yeah.
Look at that.
Man, so I have the Tony Gwynn, the green Tony Gwynn. That scan is way better than my capture of the Gwynn. It's interesting because that card shines in hand, but it's actually a little hard to get a picture of that foil. I think because of the background colors they chose, the blue and the gold and the green. None of them really push the refraction unless you have this scanner. It sees like that fixed the problem.
I'll share with you which one it is and how to get it to do that. But it was really nice. Flashlight in my mouth. This is great. I have to put this up there. Luke, that is hilarious, man. That's oh my goodness. I think we've all kind of been there trying to get the perfect photo, My light box is another photo, another light.
Yeah, I was gonna say the number of iterations I've gone through trying to buy something, thinking this will work, trying it, tweaking a little bit, and somehow I've ended all the way back to these. I'll send a link to you. These snake style lights that are UV. They're supposed to be for a plant, but because you can bend them down, you can change the angle a little bit, so you can get different angles of refraction, and just those straight down wooden desk. Of all the stuff I've tried, I've circled all the way back to possibly the simplest setup.
Crazy. It's funny you mentioned that because I also have in the kitchen there, I have a charcuterie board. That's the background of all my A-Rod cards. And they have those under the counter lights in there installed, like little, the what are they called? The long, narrow light bulbs.
I installed some of those in our kitchen too. They're magnetic ones, so I can pull them down. I definitely have played with those too. Can I twist one of these a little bit and try to shoot? You're again.
So I mean, it's been pretty cool to get a few of those done correctly. But I will say, I think I've got my light box dialed in the best I've ever had it. I do have to show this Cosmic Parallel from O-Pee-Chee Platinum. I feel like I was able to get this dialed in pretty darn good as far as being able to capture all the different colorations on this card. It's not easy to do. These parallels this year in O-Pee-Chee Platinum are a little subdued. And what we're learning is the more you print on this chromium technology, if you don't have the layering of the colors correct before the chrome goes over it, it tends to dull it really bad.
Interesting.
So some of the parallels look great and some did not turn out great. And I was pretty hypercritical at work about that because these parallels need to, do justice to the name of them, right? So, but these I think turned out better than anything that these are called Houndstooth, and we've done these for I think 7 years now, and this is by far the best iteration. You can see the PMG circles in there, right? Like that chromium technology is going on in the background. So I'm really happy that Tony decided to do this, and that's one of Saros to keep an eye out for.
It's already on my short list.
Okay, good. So that was exciting. And then this is a lenticular card. It kind of moves side to side. So Marc-Andre goes from closer to the post to further away, and this is paying tribute to the original Bobby Orr rookie card. So that's been interesting. Been really exciting the last few weeks since we've chatted. Definitely still grabbing a card here or there, sticking to our goals as far as how many flurries to grab, and that's been really good to kind of keep it slow and steady as opposed to having tons of stuff coming in. So I think I had more brand new t-shirts, some vintage Destiny t-shirts come in when I have had cards. So that's great. But we kind of want to jump into our main topic here, and I'll let you introduce this, Ben. I think we've got a big thing coming up here this week, or in a couple. Let's see, end of this week or next week?
No, next
next week.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So when you were talking on the phone, you were talking about how excited you are about it. So tell everybody kind of what we're gonna dive into here.
Yeah. So, and this will be very much a community. Let's get some feedback or ideas moving. But mid next week, the national is happening. I don't know if any of y'all out there are going to be going, but I'll be going this year. And every time, so especially with the national, but every time I'm going to a card show, I try to come up with like a strategy or a few strategies I want to use going into the show.
Right.
Partially to maintain focus, but also so you don't feel like overwhelmed. Even at a mid-sized show, right? There's so many cards, you can just feel overwhelmed. And is there a way to like navigate that where you feel like you have a strategy and you walk away? Not, I was just speaking for myself, things I've made mistakes doing in the past. One, just buying something just to buy something because you feel like you're overwhelmed before you leave. You're like, I just got to grab something. Or two, going in and being so hyper focused that you're looking for one thing and it's not there. You spend your whole time looking for one thing and you kind of like miss the joy of being at the show, right? Because it's just a fun, unique environment to be in. So I wrote a couple notes that are maybe a little off the beaten path for going to card shows. So I'll be curious to hear folks out there, their feedback.
All right. So
and if they have any other ideas or strategies that have worked for them in the past.
I'm gonna put that in the what strategies have worked for you when going to a big card show. Let's see if we get some. All right. Let's see how this looks here.
Oh, nice.
Okay.
So
I know exactly. All right. Here we go. This is new. Please comment in the chat. All right. Cool. So let's see what people come up with here, because it is always nice to know that there's some people who have gone to these bigger shows and kind of have a game plan going in. I know you and I have a specific strategy of bringing earbuds because the introvert in us starts to kick in a little bit after seeing 5,000 people and hearing all the sounds, the overload. I mean, for me, that's like the one strategy that you and I share, where it's like, I'm just going to lock in and I don't want to be.
Yeah, if I'm going to be there by myself, just total focus. If that's my goal for the day, is diving into boxes,
for sure.
Headphones in, be focused. Yep.
Definitely want to show what Luke said here. It said, my wife and I will be at the National Thursday and Friday. We'll have to meet up. I hope you get a chance to see him. That would be great.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Yeah. So Luke, I'll DM you on Instagram. We'll try to link up.
Great. Well, let's hear what kind of notes you came up with here too, Ben. Like, what going into this, especially knowing you're going on your own, is there anything that you're kind of doing differently this time around as opposed to last year when we were there?
Yeah, so that's the big thing is, well, the headphone call out is a big one, since I'm going to be meeting up with some people, some folks that I know. But for the most part, I'll be on my own. So it'll be headphones, focus, try to find stuff that maybe wouldn't be at the top of my want list in cases, but maybe some novel, interesting finds.
Okay.
So the first note I made, which has helped me in the past, is bring anything you're willing to sell at 70% comps.
Okay. Nice.
Because if you're really holding on to something that you could sell, but there's the work of having to list it on eBay or sell privately and still ship, if you're cool with 70% of comps, do it at the show, get cash in hand. And that's more cash for things that might come up that you weren't anticipating, right?
Right, for sure.
And you'll have guys that will just say, I'll just take all of these from you if you're for this amount of money, and you kind of run the numbers in your head, knowing your values, and go, that's good. That's cash in hand that I can now use the show. Right. I've offloaded stuff, otherwise I have to go through the rigmarole of selling online, right?
Right, which can be a pain in the rear sometimes. Absolutely. Yep.
Yeah, so I would say, definitely bring stuff you're willing to sell at 70%, because I do see a lot of people that go to shows and are just buying. It's like, these people want inventory too. They're going to sell stuff and want more stuff. It's not a bad, and sometimes you can. I mean, I did it at the Claremont shop. I traded one of the cards I had that I brought with me.
That's right.
I remember that. Partial trade value for the cards that I was the 3-4 that I bought from them. So there's always an opportunity to do a trade value partial for whatever you're buying.
Absolutely,
it does help. And it helps those guys too. If you're buying something out of a case, they want something else to throw in the case right away, so they don't have any empty space. Like, there's a way to make that work for you.
Yeah. No, that's great. That's a super important thing to think about, because for my first year I went, I think my second year too, I didn't bring anything either year that I went to the Nationals. So actually, you know what? I'm messing up here. I have been 3 times. I don't know what I was thinking when I told you I've only been twice.
You went the year before.
Yeah, when I saw you for like 5 seconds.
Yep.
And didn't realize like a great friend was standing next to me in a group photo.
Yeah, we're like, hey, 90s group, see you around.
Yeah, and I was just like, I basically exited myself out of it by selling my A-Rod. So, but yeah, no, that's such an important thing. Next time I go, I will definitely bring traders with me. I think that's super important to do that.
Yeah,
so,
I guess don't come empty-handed. Have stuff that you think you can get rid of, and you'd be happy getting rid of it for a little below market value.
For sure. Okay, that's a great strategy. What else are you kind of thinking about going into the National next week?
So the other one I have is bring more cash than what would cover the list of if you're going to the National with a 5-card list, bring more cash than to cover that list, because guaranteed, really at any show, you're going to come across something that's like you didn't anticipate for.
Right.
So like, I guess the rule of thumb is like, have a buffer. If you're like, okay, my true budget is $300, find a way to sell a few things or bring stuff that you can willing to let go of for 70% comp. So you have like almost a 20% cash buffer on top of like what your end is, because it's just a guarantee every show there's going to be a surprise, something that like you kind of want but you don't see, and then you randomly run across it. Like, it's going to happen, and it's really nice to be able to feel like you're comfortable pulling the trigger on that right away.
Right.
And I've made that mistake before with a vintage card that was actually at the 2023 National.
Okay.
Where I was like hand wringing over this great looking T206 card that I actually really wanted, but it wasn't like the thing I was looking for at the show. It's just this guy had all these modern cards, and he apparently traded into having this one T206 card that I really wanted. He didn't know what it was. Hand wringing over the price because it was like, I didn't account for this or budget for it. And I regretted, like, the second we went back to our room, I was like, that was I should have just made sure I had a padding for a situation like this to come up, because it could happen. And you just want to be ready to do it and not feel like you're uncomfortable making it happen.
For sure. Well, I'm going to add to that. Hold on, let me get some. I'm just noticing that my face is like dark as heck in here because there's no light. There we go. So I'm going to add to that and say, I think you should have like Luke has said, like, buy it when it comes up. Like, or how did Bernard phrase it? He phrased it as like, my collection's incomplete without these cards. Like, if you see a card in like your top 10 most wanted and you're at the National in person to buy it, you got to find a way to make it happen. You have to.
Yeah.
Right? So, kind of just playing off of what you're talking about is like, you don't want to leave regretting not buying something. And the 3 times that I've went, I have not. I've left happy with what I bought. And I've lost a little money on the basketball cards, right? But I think I went there looking for those things, and I left with those things, and so it felt really good and fulfilling to be able to do that.
Actually, a good example was the Duncan 1-of-1.
Yep.
You picked up. Was that a planned?
So no, but just if I found a good card of his, which I wasn't expecting, and I found.
And so that's like a good example of having that buffer, right? Of like, I don't know, and someone's like, oh yeah, the 1-of-1 Nebula is at the show. And you're like, well, I didn't plan on that, but
right.
I'm gonna make sure I get it.
You got to make sure that you got to leave with something like that. And so while I lost $100 on it, which I probably could have seen in a way. It was still an amazing experience to find that there and have the story, and then it's in a collection that it's well loved. So no big deal on that one. But well, cool. All right, so those are really good notes. I want to share a couple of things that people have said here. Luke has talked about kind of divide and conquer. Right, I scan showcases. My wife digs in boxes, so it's great to if you're there with your friends, you're there with your family. You're whoever. Kind of divide and conquer, because it's hard to follow the same person to every single booth. I mean, there's ways to do it where you kind of go around on the outsides of a row, and then you meet at the end and say, hey, here, and here, there's an A-Rod, or here, there's a Bonds, or you just kind of divide and conquer. I think those are great things to think about. And then,
Mhm.
Doug said, being a hockey collector in California, I would quickly walk up and down scanning all the rows for booths with hockey. And that's easy to do at the National. There's probably a dozen or less.
Yeah.
Then narrow down the ones with the best stuff and start there. So then you can kind of, that's a great for any sport or anything you're looking for. Like, there's going to be tons of Shohei modern and Wemby modern graded, but it's like when you are able to just get past those tables, you'll save yourself a ton of time. And this is an interesting one. Ben, have you heard about this here? This interactive map?
Yeah, because they had something kind of like that previously. I wonder if this is like an improvement over what they had before.
Interesting.
But that reminds me that, even at small shows where there might not be a map, but you have kind of like a layout or a floor plan.
Yeah.
Like writing down spots that you want to come back to. Because I'm like Doug a little bit, that I sometimes want to just like walk the floor and just kind of like get a quick glance of what's out there and kind of make what I was doing before, which is a mistake, is making mental notes of where tables were.
Can't do that.
And then you turn around and you're like, wait, where was that? Or you'll see a card and you're like, I want to come back and take a closer look at that. You're like, I kind of remember where that was, but not exactly.
Yeah.
So if they have numbers or rows or anything like that, or aisles, literally write it down like in your phone, because I promise you'll forget where it was.
Yeah.
It happens every time. I won't forget. I really am interested in that card. There's no way I'm going to forget where it is. 30 minutes later, you're like, I know it's in this room, but I don't know which. And then you're just wandering. Then you're just burning time wandering. Like, I think it was this table. All these guys kind of look alike, so I can't remember what he was wearing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, it's so tough because it's like overload central, right? There's like sensory overload, right? There's cards everywhere. There's people everywhere. So I think, when we mention the headphones, I think that's why it's so helpful, because you can use them to kind of let you narrow in on just the visuals of what you're seeing, and not letting people working on deals, people getting annoyed, getting bumped into, because you do get bumped into a lot at these shows because there's people with your carts and all this stuff. So you just got to find a way to kind of get into your Zen place, goose fraba, so it's good to do that. So I'm going to follow up with this question then. You're going to be going. Are you going there looking for anything specific, or are you going there seeing what you find and starting at that place?
So last year I went with a specific list, of which I got like 3 out of the 7 that were on my list, which I consider that a win. And then got some other stuff that was like interesting things, prospects, things that I enjoyed and was able to like later on sell for a win. Like, I just knew there were going to be some deals to be found. This year I'm keeping it a little looser. I do have a list, but I'm actually trying to go with like a super open mind.
Okay.
Meaning, because the way my collection is now, especially, like, I still collect all eras, vintage all the way up to some super modern, Mookie, some guys that are current. Now there's this little sprinkle of F1 stuff that I'll be keeping an eye out for. I've got my hockey guy. So I've got a bunch of different stuff. And I don't want to really like commit or hyper focus on one specific thing. I almost want to see, like, again, we'll see if the strategy works. I've never tried this before. Just kind of seeing what calls me, or what I find like really cool. Like, the hockey tables will be a lot of fun for me because that's just a new world.
Right.
So I'm trying to frame it almost as more of like an experience, to like have fun being at this one, instead of like, I think last year I put a lot of pressure on myself, being like really focused, trying to get some inventory. I'm gonna like move some stuff so I can get this card. I had these like really directed goals and like very specific cards I was going for, which like, for example, one that shouldn't be hard was like a 2018 Topps Chrome Acuna auto. It's his rookie auto.
Right.
And I spent so much time looking for that card at the National. I finally found one, but that like hyper focus of looking for one specific card or just 5 specific cards, you almost get like a tunnel vision. You're not having fun, just enjoying the fact that you're at the show, or like you might catch something out of the corner of your eye because you're not so hyper focused trying to. I got to find any table that has a 2018 Topps design. I'm going to stop and then try to see if they have the Acuna. I almost want to go a little bit away from that and just be very open-minded this time. I have a list. If one of those is up there, I'm going to stop and be interested, but I'm not even committing to like, I see one that's on the list, I'm actually going to buy it. I'm not even going to commit to that. unless it's that unique list of, the top 5. If you see it, you have to buy it.
Mm-hmm. Right.
If it's just on this national list, I don't know. I'm actually curious what it'll feel like if I see one of those and I just don't buy it.
Yeah.
I just want to test what that feels like.
I think especially going in with an open mind, I think you try to do that with small shows because you're not going to probably find anything, right? So that's where it's nice to just be able to just go enjoy whatever. But I think in this case, it's like if those things show up, great, because you're always going to be looking for them anyway, right? It's not like you're going to forget that those are your most wanted, but not being hyper focused on it and just kind of letting it slow burn, and not feeling like you have to see every table because you can't at the national. You know how big it's going to be with those two giant floors or showroom areas. So I think it's going to be fun for you, and hopefully, even though like Luke and other people are going to be out there, that's going to be nice to just kind of take your time and work your way through it. Because it would be easy to just hit every table looking for, like for Doug, if he was going on hockey, obviously is easier, right? Because you can just skip around. But even when I was looking for hockey stuff, I was more or less just kind of enjoying, what I was seeing. It's great to be like, wow, there's a Jordan Jambalaya, an OG Jambalaya. There's a Kobe, a Kobe Topps Chrome rookie PSA 10. You're just like, I cannot believe I'm seeing these cards. Like, Babe Ruth, and there's so much history there. It's the same people set up with the same crazy cards that have been there for 10 years because nobody's got money to spend. But it's still amazing to see it, And so I think if you go there just appreciating what's there and taking that in, you're going to have a great time, man. So, yeah.
I'm going full. I think I'm going to wear like a Tommy Bahama shirt, headphones in, like full chill vibes.
And you're going to be listening to the Wiggles, I'm assuming, right?
100%, yes.
Yeah, no, that's great. Yeah, I have to ask him, Luke, when you run into him. He shouldn't be too hard to find. We'll have to have you wearing like a Lando Norris shirt or something so people can see you easier.
I know. I need like a bright orange McLaren shirt, something.
Yeah, for sure, dude. Yeah, I'm a little bit bummed that, I'm still new. I'm not even here. I haven't been here a year, so they didn't pick me to go to the National, although I probably have the most experience out of anybody at the office other than maybe Grant, who has been and kind of know how the National is set up and where the hot areas are and those types of things. But hopefully we'll get a chance to be in Chicago together next year because it'll be back there again. So, and one thing that was really cool that I want to tell everybody, and just, you'll get more enjoyment out of the hobby if you're looking out for your friends. But Ben hit me up and he's like, yo, what are some things you're looking for? And I mean, it would be easy for me to be like, here's my top 30, it's like, I gave him a few things because he's probably not going to see them, but it was awesome. I think you might have more satisfaction as a collector if you find something for your friends than you do for yourself. Not that that's, not the main goal, but man, it's awesome. If you can unearth like if I found some, crazy Saros card that you like, this only numbered to 5, Matt, but it's like my most wanted, and I just happen to find it somehow. Like the joy of finding that card for you would be amazing. So hopefully people keep that in mind. You're looking for cards for your friends too. I assume people do, but easy to not do that, right?
It is also, I'm glad you brought that up, because if you're there at a big multi-day show looking for the same things, you actually start to get a little exhausted. And it is fun to have something else to look out for your friends. It's not the same that you've thought about for years about this card, or 6 months you've been thinking about the same card over and over again. Now I'm looking for the same card. And it is better to give than to receive, right? Like it is very fun to find something for somebody else that they're going to be stoked about. And then again, we've talked about this before. What a great story. Even if it's a $5 card, but you find it and get to snag it for your buddy.
Yeah.
Forever. That card now stays in that collection forever.
For sure. For sure. Unless it becomes like 5 to 10 times more. And then you're like, yo, dude, I just want to let you know I'm selling this so I can do this or so I can buy this. Right.
Right. So, then you just have to tell me what it's going towards so I can be excited for you.
Exactly. Yeah. For sure. For sure. So no, that's awesome, man. I really hope that, you find maybe something for Greg or something, some cool F1 card for your wife. That would be great. But it'll be great to see, to hear about it. Obviously in a couple of weeks, we'll do our next episode and you'll be able to kind of fill us in on some of the different things. You'll have to swing by the Upper Deck booth too. I'll let my buddies and my coworkers know who are going.
Oh, hey, I'm going to swing by and be like, is Matt here?
Yeah. Why isn't Matt here? You should say, how come Matt Burrows is not here?
Like Matt Burrows? No. Oh, I came to the show to meet him.
Yeah. What the heck, guys? I mean, geez, you don't treat your new employees well? What's going on?
I came to meet this guy.
Yeah.
Oh, shucks.
I was giving my boss a hard time. Like, seriously, dude, like I'm the national one out of our whole team, but it's going to be great to have the two people. I think Pat and Tony are going to be the ones that go. And so it's going to be really great for them to. And Tony's worked on so many hockey products. Pat's done a lot of hockey and like the Scooby-Doo product that came out. Everybody's loving that. So we'll be a good representative. I do want to share something pretty cool. I've never been to a Comic-Con, and it's in San Diego, as you know. I'm one of them. So I get to work Thursday morning at the Comic-Con, and then because I'm there, I get to just walk around the whole afternoon with Tony. So that's going to be pretty wild to go and experience my first Comic-Con, and I hope people give me some feedback, right? Because I built. I don't know if I'm allowed to say it yet. Dang it, I don't think I can. But I can say it's a DC product. I've told you about it, but I can't tell everybody else. But I have built a DC product that's got a lot of original art, and I just cannot wait for people to see it and open it and experience it. Because I know how to take that product kind of to another level with some help from some coworkers, just talking through it. So the collaborative process has been great, but it's going to be great to get that feedback
from real fans.
Yeah, for sure, dude. That's so for me, I won't be at the national, but this week I'll be able to get some feedback to kind of, share on the next show from my side of things, what Comic-Con is like. I don't get to dress up because I'm working. So not that I had a costume on anyway. Show up as Vettel, just put my F1 costume on again.
The full Vettel.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, dude, I'm excited to hear how it goes for you. And it's gonna be really cool to kind of just go with a more of an open-minded approach to the national, as opposed to trying to go there and only find certain things. So yeah, are you feeling pretty excited about it compared to previous years?
I'm actually feeling more excited with this attitude than I think I created anxiety last time, like doing so much prep, getting this list together, being like, I have to get one of these or I built it up in my head to where it was like, almost if I didn't get some of these, it would be like a disappointment, which is just unfair to yourself. It should be, you're paying to go to the show, have some fun, like meet with people that are going to be at the show that live in different places. Like I'm trying to put it as like, it's an event and I should be enjoying the experience over like feeling a stress to like pick up cards.
For sure. No, that's a really good way to
kind of going to swinging the opposite way from last year.
Yeah. Well, but it was exciting. You kind of get the hype of being with your buddies, and we're all kind of looking for same cards, and I'm picking stuff up.
The hanging out with you guys last year and doing the show the way we did was amazing. It was the part that I put stress on myself to pick up specific cards that was I'm realizing was not fun. Honestly, if you guys hadn't been there and I wasn't hanging out with you, I would have probably left and been like, I didn't enjoy that.
Yeah.
So you guys offset the fact that I was like way over prepared last year and like way too focused on trying to get things like that helped a lot. So yeah, we'll see. I will let you know if the being chill works.
Well, expectations are everything in life in general, right? Like you can't go into any card show, for instance, expecting to find anything. And every time I've gone, I've had no expectations and I've left with some crazy cool stuff. And so I think, if you go into it that way, you tend to feel a little more successful about and just happy about your whole experience. So I do want to show this. I mean, this would be incredible if this card turned up. If anybody finds the golden anniversary Tim Salmon, Greg, that's his big white whale hunt. So please just buy it for him and either send it to him or hit him up, because he will love you forever.
Yeah. That's the one. Any of us that know Greg, every show we go to, we're like, maybe this is the one. Could this be the one?
Yeah, crazy. Hopefully it happens one day. It'll make for a great story. So, well, cool, man. I know that you got to get out of here soon because you guys are getting ready to travel and head back home. But awesome to see you on here again, and I'm super happy that you're going to be out here again soon. Be able to hang out and do card stuff and go to games and all that other stuff. It's going to be really, really fun. Luke, of course, yes, you tend to find the best stuff when you're not setting the expectation to find anything in particular.
That's the strategy I'm going in with this year. It's like low standards, low expectations. Let's just see if I find some fun things and just kind of enjoy the experience.
Right.
So
Awesome. Well,
I
I'm
think
excited to
it's going
hear
to work
how
in my
that goes.
favor.
Yeah, I'm sure it's going to be great. Well, any other closing thoughts before we sign off and for a couple weeks here?
Yeah, I'll say I was out and we missed a week, and I actually I missed it. I missed everybody. The people in the chat that I haven't even met. It's just kind of fun. Everybody that like leaves comments. It makes you
Yeah.
think. It gets you excited again. Like this is a great time to be able to have another episode kind of leading up to the national, and know there's like cool people out there that are just really awesome in the hobby and like engaging with us. I
Mhm.
can't thank you guys enough out there. It keeps me excited to keep collecting, doing
For
these.
sure.
So it's really
Good.
fun.
Yeah, and Ben and I, we will admit the blogging has been tougher for us because we've both been a little bit busier at my
So
work.
busy. Yeah.
We'll do a combined July, June top 5 type thing or top pickups. So still kind of looking to how to continue to make that fun and exciting. But yeah, looking forward to that in a few days here. We've got about 10 days left on that.
Yep.
Yeah, so we'll see you in a couple weeks. We are planning, Greg and Alan and myself, at least Greg and I know for sure are planning on doing an episode of Essential Credentials. We definitely want to, I don't want to speak on their behalf fully, but they're both, married with children at home and they've got family things going on all the time. And so it's very difficult to kind of get an episode pinned down, but we'll get another one out there soon. Hopefully next week. That's the plan, next Wednesday, I want to say. So in like 9 days or 10 days, but until then, we will see you in a couple weeks. And thank you, everybody, for hanging out with us. We appreciate it. Remember, keep things positive. It makes the hobby more fun. Thanks, guys.